Yeah.
All right, welcome to the so-called Top 5 podcast. We're going to go ahead and have another guest for you today while we play some putt-putt, possibly for the second time, depending on how things are released. Why don't we go off with the top 5 roll call?
We got Dayman here. Feels weird again saying that.
It's all truth is truth, buddy. Shouldn't feel weird for anybody.
That's fair. And we're
Stupido Einstein is here.
There you go. And I am Choc Banana of your Philadelphia Phillies.
Oh, I didn't say all that.
Also, Leo's here from your Milwaukee Brewers.
There you go. And do we have Dayman? Do we have our good buddy in?
we have Griff lurking in the ether for anybody out there. But
if you just close your eyes and believe, you can feel his presence, and it's tingling.
Feel the Griffey points.
You can
Yes.
You can feel
they are so good and blocky.
Yes.
And joining us today is Mr. Kenny K.
What's up?
Hi, Ken. You want to let us know a little bit about yourself?
I suck at this game. I'll start there.
That's a good call, Kenny. That's a good call.
Fair.
We didn't bring you on for your mini golf talents. That's for damn sure.
I really appreciate that.
You're very welcome.
I am Kenny Kawaguchi. I am the GM of the Boston Red Sox and former mod and LOM.
Nice. So you say LOM, just out of curiosity.
Oh no.
Okay.
So
Just curious. No, we don't have to have that conversation.
Well,
Let's have
but
the conversation later.
Kenny, would you say that if someone were to say "lom," that is just
No, that's not
idiot.
what I said at
That is just loam.
Loam. It's pronounced loam.
Would you say that loam is absurd?
To rhyme with dome.
I'm not going to disagree with that, I guess. I mean, I say LOM.
You say LOM in your head?
I do say LOM.
Yeah. Why did you say LOM when you introduced yourself as a former LOM as opposed to a former LOM?
Can we not persecute our guests, please? This is not a trial.
Yeah, that's what you think, buddy.
It's funny. So every time that I would sit down and explain what my role was, I would, in my head, I'd subconsciously say LOM every single time.
Okay.
Didn't really make a difference who I was explaining it to. And it's always capitalized. I don't know why. That's how I always just done it.
So quick question again. How do you say a capital L as opposed to a lowercase L? Just if I could get a clarification on that one.
That's a hole-in-one, boys. That's what that's called.
That's how you pronounce it. That's how you pronounce it.
Oh, man. Okay, good. Well, Kenny, now that I've already attacked you personally twice to start the podcast, thank you very much for taking the time to join us here. We have a series of questions. It's fans. Crap. Are you guys all watching me? Because that's going to make me... I'm just going to read the question.
Yep.
We have a series of questions that we just ask because, that's what we do here and passes the time. So first off, everybody gets to tell us the story of their name. So where does Kenny, and I don't know how you pronounce what comes after the K, where does that come from?
Kenny Kawaguchi.
Kawaguchi. There you
yes,
go.
It is and depending on your age, it is the wheelchair guy from Backyard Baseball. I used to be Pete Wheeler, and I wanted to have some continuity between MLN and MLR because I couldn't get signed in MLR. So
that's going to be the second question now.
I couldn't get signed in MLN. Sorry. So
okay.
So I ended up changing my name so people just recognized who it was. And actually, I changed my name, and 2 days later, I got signed. So that's where Kenny Kawaguchi comes from. Nothing special, unfortunately. Just thieved. So.
Got it. Why couldn't you get signed in MLN?
I think part of it was because I signed up as a pitcher, which always is sad. It is always a challenge in any league. But reality was, I think just it's a whole different league that I was. How do I say this? I guess that's a whole league that I just really don't know kind of the people in that league. It requires you to kind of reach out to people, where MLR is kind of different. You get posted to a transaction, and then someone, because there's so many teams, is going to reach out to you. Well, with MLN, you got to think there's the waiting list. There's there's only 10, 12 teams in MLN. So if you're at your roster cap, you're not looking to sign anyone. And so really just name recognition and think about this too. GMs and MLR look for a lot of activity. Well, when you have that waiting list situation in MLN, you're really essentially taking the most active people. And I think that was kind of just my downfall in that one. Oh my God.
Got it. I don't know anything about MLN. Does the rest of the top 5 know anything about MLN yet?
No.
I just joined like a few weeks ago.
Oh,
Not trying to flex on Kenny, but there was like 4 or 5 teams in my DMs within one message of me posting something.
first overall in 2 leagues, eh?
Wow.
I mean, the wheel decided MILR, but it would be the 3rd technically. No, they already had their draft. The only reason I joined was because Fats on St. Louis was like, if you want to join MLN, you can join Kansas City. So then Peaches got me all set up. Shout out to Peaches. But yeah, the vibe is much different. Like Kenny said, it's like a lot. I could see how not being able to get signed would be tough because like there honestly sometimes like isn't a lot of even like space to interact. Like there's not even like conversations going on a lot of the time. It's just game discussion stuff. So
Got it.
And the other big thing too with MLN too is, and we like those guys. They do a good job over there, and it's like you said, it's kind of you got to know someone. So like I got real fortunate that Uga just really kind of had an opening on his roster, and then I actually elected to go to free agency after that year. Or I spent another year in Aruba, and then I went to free agency, and it was actually tough. I didn't have really a lot of people. By that time, I was already kind of set up in MLR, and I really didn't have a lot of guys reach out to me. And I just got really lucky that Joe reached out, and I even went to free agency last year, and I had elected to resign. No one reached out, and it's just people have their favorites. I mean, that's just life in general. But
Yeah.
it was.
So this is before you were really getting set up and started in MLR as well as when you were having this issue.
Yeah, kind of past couple seasons I've in MLR have really kind of taken off from what I'm involved in situation, I guess if you want to call it that.
Well, yeah. So that's actually the next question is like, what's your MLR resume? So why don't you go ahead and just hop on in? Because I don't know how many people on the call. What are we? I don't know how many people talking right now are actually super familiar with you. So let us know what you do.
Yeah. So I came into MLR in mid season 5. I signed with the Yankees. Lemon actually signed me. Stayed with the Yankees through essentially, and most I think all you guys are So I stayed with Lemon through the limiting. Essentially, I stayed on the Yankees.
I gotta pause you at the limiting here real quick. Is everyone else stuck, or is that just me?
I'm also stuck.
Yep. I think Damian is showing him not going in.
what the fuck?
Are you serious?
What the fuck? You gotta be fucking kidding me, man.
You gotta pay attention to detail, man, and make sure that everybody's involved finishes, or else you're just not gonna get invited.
Well, then I got a hole in one, so go
And
fuck
another
yourself.
hole, whatever.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well,
We all did.
you're just rushing to the end. I didn't get a hole in one. I take my time, and I also sometimes just shoot a little
Completely
wide.
miss.
Yep. Anyways, I'm sorry. So, you
Limiting.
were here for the limiting,
Yes,
and
very involved in the limiting actually.
how were you very involved in the limiting? We know a little bit about it, not a whole lot.
Well, without divulging a ton of it, and just not even from the leagues, I wasn't involved in the league at that point. We actually probably saw the transcripts before OTC did at that time. So Lemon was the GM. I'm not condoning what Lemon did at all because it's a violation of trust to the league. But we probably saw the transcripts prior to OTC ever seeing them. And with that being said, providing information as it comes in, and essentially, I don't want to say calling the bluffs, but you know, we kind of knew that where he was going with this prior to a lot of people. And I'm not saying it was good, I'm not saying it was bad the way it went, but yeah, I mean, I was pretty much there. And then moving from there, I signed. After that, I was kind of just burnt out with the Yankees. You know, we went up to uh, Laser was the interim GM at that point, and then we went to Tommy, and then from there you know, when Tommy got elected, it was essentially Laser picked between us, and they picked Tommy. So I ended up going to Oakland for season 7. And then during season 8, I re-signed with Oakland, and then went to that's kind of when I won I don't want to say won, but that's when I got the Boston GMs ship was season 8. And it's all downhill from there, fellas.
All downhill from there.
So once you become a GM, it's over.
Yeah, I mean, it changes the game, right? Because you have to, like, I rarely play. I could play, but I rarely play. I let my guys play. You know, it's a lot of more management aspect of it, which is fun to me. I enjoy that. Some people play and they rather play, but people don't realize how much time it takes. You know, and that kind of was one of the reasons why I kind of stuck up in LLM was I wasn't able to spend time with wasn't able to spend time with my team. Like I didn't feel like I was giving it everything I needed to give it. And so now,
Who was the green ball that was stuck out? Was that Dayman again?
It's not me. I was waiting on purpose for production.
Green ball is you, Banana.
Green?
Yeah, I'm yellow,
Is it?
bud. Yeah, you're green. I'm yellow.
Oh, I fucked up. What did I do? Sorry, Kenny.
Somebody's wife is gonna be
Don't worry.
pissed tonight.
oh boy,
I would make jokes right now, but my wife would get me in a lot of trouble if she ever found out about it. So I won't.
And
So,
it was Kenny.
Kenny, one thing about me that I don't know if anybody knows this, management games are like my jam. I don't know if you guys know what RimWorld is or not, but RimWorld allows you to like control people's like daily schedule and lives and like survive a colony marooned on a planet. And it's like I just order people around and they do shit. It is like my deal. I fucking love it.
Shit. So you're going to micromanage whenever
Yeah.
you get your GM.
Oh no.
So
The thing about you have to have grand plans with RimWorld. You don't get to just. It's not a micromanage thing. It's a. You set a schedule and you just like leave them be. Go play the game if you don't. It's a great game. But I like the management sim aspect. So is that not your bag, or is that what you're kind of into?
no, it is. You know, part of it comes down to time too. You know,
Yeah.
I have a new rule. Like you know, becoming an adult is one of the worst things ever to happen to people. We spend our whole life wanting to be adults, right? And then when it finally comes, it's like, oh, this kind of sucks.
yeah, I'm straight up not having a good time, man.
Mother.
Yeah. And so
Yeah.
that's what.
Fuck me.
Oh, shit.
So yeah, so that was part of it too, and
No.
you know, I definitely didn't want to. It just being an LLM it wore on me. It really did. It you know, there was plenty of nights where I was up to 2, 3 in the morning trying to address what was going on. You know, not necessarily on Discord, but just kind of I write a lot of notes and stuff like that, and just kind of just figuring out, following up, making sure that everything I have is in line. And I just couldn't do that with my job. You know, my job requires me to be able to find. So, and then being a GM, so something has to give. So, unfortunately, that was LLM.
Yeah.
So that's actually the next question we can hop into, and I'm guessing the answer is not always great. But how did you like being a loam? And I'm going to keep saying loam, so that's just
It had its moments. You know, my step down speech was very that was very how I was feeling at that point when I wrote it. You know, there was a lot of conquering there. We did a lot of good, you know, but we also did a lot of not also bad, but like we made a lot of decisions that maybe they weren't the best decision, but they maybe were the least desirable for public opinion, and
Yeah.
fuck, and you really kind of you beat yourself up sometimes about that. So there's a lot of good. I think navigating Dottie was something that we all learned how we could probably have done a little bit better. But navigating and then how we navigated the whole situation leading up to that was probably something we could have handled better. But then we handled a lot of things good. I think the season 9 recruiting class came out very well. I shout out to the mods that handled that, and then I think that the gameplay decisions that we've made on some things, some of them they weren't the best, but there were some I feel like we went back and really corrected some things if we made a mistake. So
Sometimes.
Go ahead.
Oh, go ahead, please.
I think that being a leader is hard, and being a leader of a community of 500 people is even harder. And you kind of have to remember that too. And I'm my own worst critic. I think we should have been perfect, and that's just not reasonable. So here we are, and like I said, we probably did. The group of 3 that we had probably did a really good job in hindsight. But I'm always going to be my worst critic. So
I'm sure someone out there is going to be harder on you at some point, right?
yeah, you would think. Have you met some of the people in the community?
I'm starting to, yeah. I'm making
Definitely
friends.
not your own worst critic.
Yeah, I've met 0 people, as a matter of fact.
Yeah.
It's really hard to.
Oh, this is.
Sometimes you just got to act, and you don't always get to act greatly the first time. I feel like when you're in charge of stuff like this, like sometimes it is you just need to show that you're taking it seriously by doing something, and from there, you've got to be fucking kidding me. I just rolled past the 0, the 1, and the 2 right into the 2. But sometimes, you just got to act. But I don't think, and I've led some servers of a couple hundred people, not 5 or 6 like this is. But I feel like when you make a decision on something, nothing can really be that final. You got to be open to like feedback and whatever for the community and what's best for them and such. So I can understand the second guessing, and I don't think there's any problem with second guessing. I think if it keeps you up at night, that's a little bit of a problem. But hopefully you're not wearing this, to bed every night. Or maybe you are. I don't know.
No, at this point, definitely not. I mean, we've moved on past at this point. It's just like I said, at the end of the day, guys, it's a number game, right? That you use to guess. That's all this is. And if you take it more than that, then you have. At one point I had told someone to go touch some grass if we take this game super seriously, and that's just kind of the what does that do? That's just kind of the aspect of it, right? Just it's a game. It's a game. We're supposed to be having fun.
Whatever the game is, like we're not spending time here because we hate our families, and maybe we are, or because we hate our lives or something like that. But we're spending time here because we have some recreation that we need and can enjoy, and that's what we spend our time on. So if we're not having fun, like fucking stop playing. Like that's what we need to do, and we should do our best to make sure. What the fuck is that block doing? We should make sure that we do our best for everybody to have fun, and like that's the end of our obligations. So
and that one of my biggest gripes of this has been really the veterans of the league. Really, they're the guys that they're setting the tone for the league, right? So they're always negative. And what do we need to do to fix that? What do we need? What conversations do we need to have to change their perception? Because obviously they feel some type of way, or they feel like they've been slighted, or they feel like they've been, whatever it may be, they feel that way, right? So I really wanted to try to fix that, and I just didn't get a chance. Call it burnout, call it whatever you want. But I think there's a lot of people who've been here forever, and not using them as resources is wrong to the league.
Say that again.
Not using those people who've been here forever as resources to the league, it's wrong for the league. It puts the league in a worse position, I think. And when you get into leadership, and if you guys ever want to leadership in the league, there's definitely some of that where you get a lot of different thoughts processes, and that's just in general. That's life. You're always going to get that. But you get a lot of, well, we want to go this direction, and then that person will run off and go that direction. Well, then I'll say I want to go in this direction, and I'll go straight, and you get another guy that goes I'm going to go left, and they'll go left. There's no synergy to that, and that's a detriment. Look at that, that's a win.
Hey.
Yeah, we're never playing this fucking course again. I gotta push.
All right,
goddamn
get the fuck off
No,
this
that was the worst.
podcast right now.
Hey, this ain't the top 1, 2, 4, and 5 podcast. So shut your goddamn mouth. We're never playing that goddamn hole again. I don't know, man.
Yeah.
I think Kenny, what I'm hearing right now on this podcast is a lot of unity on the new cohort. So I think maybe the veterans could learn something from us, who are also congenial and treat each other with such love and respect at all times.
No, is that what that is?
That's what that is. Yeah.
Don't tell that to the
That's
people
not
who
what
got
I'm
banned from FCB.
Yeah,
Now watch-
well, there's only two,
Now
Who got
watch me hit
banned
that
from
guy.
FCB?
Gooch and Luke.
We call it the Gucci name, okay?
It is the Gooch.
Oh, yeah, but they're not on this podcast, so I'm not worried about it. Oh, I'm not playing this. Hold on, let me play.
Anybody for a
Yeah, I
quick
got-
dome?
Oh
So-
God.
All right, whose alt was that? If you're listening to this podcast, Luke,
We will
Luke
have you
from-
on to discuss it.
I swear to God, if you just DM us
With
and
Raj.
tell us who you actually fucking are, like, we'll keep your
I want
secrets.
some
But
proof.
I want to know, like, personally, because I saw every one of those fucking messages, and I'm astounded by your behavior.
I got pinged in every single one of them.
I muted the fucker.
So many
as soon
people
as-
did. So many people did.
Yeah. I basically anybody who did the NL Central role outside of General got muted by me. So I had to unmute somebody because they talk in the baseball card chat, and I wanted to know what baseball cards they had. So
I didn't
Yeah.
mute him only because he was on my team.
Dude, he would ping Brent to start a dome, and then like Brent would message me and be like, "This motherfucker is pinging me." Oh
Easy.
man! Again, whoever's alt you are, please. You don't even have to come on the pod. Just DM me, just so I know who it is. I just want to know who you are.
What?
I
I
just
think
want
we
to know.
have him on the podcast as Luke
Yeah.
Fromm.
Fuck.
Yeah.
I mean,
We
but if
totally
they
do.
don't want to do that, I just want to know who it is. I don't even care.
no, they have to.
They have to, is the rules.
I'm
Yeah,
going on a
that's
limb
worse.
here, thinking this one's not as cool as you think.
Yeah, probably
Fortunately.
not. Probably not as cool. Probably not.
Oh wait,
Probably
hang on. Is this? This is a Lind. It was a Lindrosot, I think. Yeah.
See, but
Definitely
that
pretty sure.
fault.
Yeah.
what's funny
Sure
about
was.
that though is that do you know I'm gonna do a quick shout out to my fellow St. Louis Cardinals Stan Man, who's an old head. He's a vet, and we have a campfire channel where he tells us stories.
Oh yeah.
And there was some funny there was a
Chat with football
there was a funny Lindros story in there. I mean, it was fucked up, but like it was basically like his alt like talking to Stan and being like, who's this Lindros guy, like talking about himself to Stan. And then there was like a DM in a picture he sent us where it was him and he was just like, Stan, I'm so sorry. Like, I didn't want to clown you like that. Like, you're cool. Like, it's so funny, dude. It was so funny. Like, as fucked up as it was, I was like, wow, the gall to like DM you and be like, sorry for like tricking you in some fake bullshit. It's like a game for
numbers game.
fun. Yeah,
Dude, isn't it wild though? Isn't
it's
it?
insanity to
like-
me. Insane.
Like, it's brutal. Like I sit here and I actually, so funny story. I started in fake college football, right? And Lindros was there at one point, and so I got my first dose there. I didn't get my real first dose of Lindros till like at the MLR, and then I kind of started hearing some things. Well, I had joined, because I'm a college football junkie, so I had joined NZCFL, I think is what it's called, which is essentially like a sim version of college football. It's enjoyable. Well, this dude with the name Lindros pops up, and I'm like, what is this? I'm like, wait a minute, I've seen this name. Like I was part of the leadership group in FCFB, so I was like, I know who this is, but I couldn't
Right.
I couldn't piece it together. So I reached out to like an old guy, and I'm like, hey, what's Lindros's Discord ID? And they're like, oh, it's this. And I go, he's in NZFL, huh? And he goes, yeah, that's like the breeding ground for him. And I immediately left. It was like, I was like, how many people in this, how many people in this community are Lindros?
Dude,
Everybody.
holy shit. Can you fucking imagine going to your buddy's house and him just being like, hold up, I need to do something really fast, and like log into like 18 different Discord accounts and fucking like post some shit? Like, come on. Like, that is,
All the burner emails.
dude.
Think about all the emails. Think about like all the like you have to keep that shit straight too, right, for it to work.
Right.
So like
What team you are. And
how it's so much harder just to. It's crazy.
Yeah, because
So,
because like alt identifiers are going off of like IP address and all that shit too, right?
We're gonna not talk about that one.
Yeah, that's fair. That's fucking fair. But
So I gotta
Yes.
ask a question real quick because I have no idea what the fuck is going on. When we
Perfect.
so I remember everybody had a Lindros profile pic for a
that
while.
was a
It's not
Survivor
that.
thing. That was a Survivor.
That was
thing.
Survivor.
That was
So what
yeah.
in God's name are we talking about with? Is this like another like? I don't even know what this is. I don't have
Part
a
of the
frame for this.
iceberg.
Part of the iceberg. Okay. Is this just one of those like crazy Discord things where people do stupid shit online and that's it?
Yeah, basically. Yeah,
Pretty
I mean,
much.
Pretty
so
much.
like think of it too. I mean, alting in general, right? Like is a grand idea if you actually can figure it out, right? And it's the ultimate cheating tool. And it's funny. This is going to come out, and I can immediately tell you people are going to claim that I'm alting. It's jokingly, and it's like when you sit here and think about it, because that's just the way the community is. But when you sit here and think about it, like you're a pitcher on one team and you're a hitter on the other team, or you have 3 or 4 hitters on the other team. You don't have to hit a home run every time, right? All you got to do is be successful. So if you know what's coming,
Yeah.
then you're successful. So like, there's that part of it, but it's like you have to have no life to do that.
Literally, that's
Like,
my
I'll be-
thing. Like, yeah, that's what I think about every time. Like you said,
shot,
even if it's
shot.
just emails and all that shit.
Dude,
you have
I
to
was
keep all
stuck on that
shit.
red fucking strip for like 3
Cool.
hits, 4 hits. It was nuts.
You gotta
It,
keep.
it's
yeah.
just like, how do you have time for that shit? Like,
Yeah.
dude, I have a life and I can barely keep up with what's going on in my life. Like, you're gonna tell me, like, you're gonna tell me I
Yeah.
gotta keep up with 3 Discord accounts and show activity
Right.
on 3. That's fucking ridiculous.
I'm
Yeah,
super
right.
pissed
Alright.
that Dayman has moved on to the Star RPG after playing the D&D RPG already, and I haven't fucking even gotten through Skyrim yet. And I'm just like really super annoyed.
Well, I
that
didn't
don't have time
I didn't
for
like
that stuff.
beat Baldur's Gate, but like, and you can play it so many different times. I'm just saying, like Starfield.
I know. This is
got
not
some
like
content.
I'm not upset with you. I'm jealous of you.
No,
He's
I
upset.
feel
No,
you.
he's
I
upset of
feel
you.
you. But like, you have to
Yeah.
remember, dude. Like, I don't have kids or anything, and that is like a big. That's
Yeah,
a big.
I know.
Big time
It's
suck.
a big thing.
Yeah.
I have lots of friends who don't have kids, and I mean I love my children. They are the best things in the world.
Of course.
But good Lord, I love hearing all the stuff that my non-child having friends
Right.
do.
I just
Sounds
live through
super
my
great.
friends.
What'd you say?
Yeah.
Said
What
I
you say?
live life through my friends.
Yeah.
Yep. In your Harry Potter hole.
You live upstairs, huh?
Whose hole?
He has a Harry Potter hole. Have we not talked about this?
Do you have Daniel Radcliffe in your house?
We have not talked about this live on the air, no.
Tell Kenny about
Stupido
your
has
hole.
a room,
Oh,
generously speaking.
It's
in
not.
his
It can't
house.
be a room
We've
if
been-
it's a Harry Potter hole.
I mean, anything is a room. A closet's a room if you're generous
It's a
enough.
closet under
If you're
the
generous enough. A closet's a room if you're generous enough. Can we make that the podcast
Put a bed
title?
on the floor.
It is. It is.
Can we
I'll
make
make
that
the
the
podcast title. I'm writing it down now.
A closet's a room
Put a
if you're
mattress on the
generous
floor.
enough.
It's close
Closet
enough.
Anything can
is
be a bathroom
room
if you're
You're
dedicated.
generous.
Okay,
enough.
I don't know about all that.
I mean, it's true. Anything's a bathroom. You just how much shame do you have?
Well, okay. I mean,
None.
as I work in the field, let me tell you what, there is zero shame for people.
Exactly. I guarantee you, Kenny has shit in some places that would make us go.
Oh no.
Oh,
There's a line.
As someone who
Is
used to
this
work
where
in
we're
social
going?
services,
Line.
there is no line. There is
There's no line.
Oh, I promise you, there's a fucking line.
There's a
I
line,
will
but
not,
people.
I'll not lie to you. I've walked in the houses where people have shit in the middle of the floor, like just right in the middle of the floor.
That's a
Yeah.
power move. Was there like a
At
dispute about rent or something?
Marking their territory.
You know,
Wait,
the amount
Kenny,
of piss bottles I find in like walls and shit. It's wild.
Oh,
I used to work.
man.
I used to work at like a nonprofit, like a housing social services place, and we did inspections. Oh, buddy. I would say the only thing that was more horrific than that was I detowed cars for like 4 or 5 years. Oh,
Oh,
That's
God.
hard. That's hard work, man. That's hard work.
oh,
Man,
buddy.
the shit.
So in my role now, like I deal with a lot of pissed off people.
Oh yeah.
And so like one of them was we
Did you
ripped the
say
wall open.
piss bottle people?
Well,
Pissed off
yes.
people. Well,
God, sorry, my bad.
but I have never found so many bottles of piss in walls before. And you know, these are kids working for us, right? These are like grown ass adults doing this shit.
How do you find them? Like, do you smell it? What's the deal?
No, so like homeowner says, hey, I have these pictures from when I walked the house before the house was buttoned up with drywall, and there's a lot of trash in the house. I'm afraid that, or like I have bugs or something like that. Like bugs are the worst ones because you're like, oh fuck, I know exactly what this is. And
What is it if it's bugs?
there's something food or something in the house. Like
Got it.
inside. Think about this like, your wall, right? It's got framing, so you drywall both sides of a wall. And what happens is they'll just put they'll put their food or they'll put their piss bottles or they'll put their empty beer bottles or whatever inside that wall. And then that attracts the bugs right out.
People fucking suck, man. I'm really annoyed right now. Like I'm actually getting a little like my heart's getting a little pumping because I'm a little fucking angry. I'm also
Did
fat
this
and maybe out of
exact
breath
same
from
thing
talking.
twice.
I don't know, but I'm a little pissed off about that. That sucks.
It's gross.
And and the thing is like, well, and the thing is like, it was funny because we had a conversation we had a big an OSHA reach out in our division, and we were talking about like fall safety, like being tied off when you're on a 4-story condo building, right?
Right.
And we sit here and we're just we're talking about it. It's just like these people know better, but if they're from whatever country they're from, let's just most of our guys in this area are from like Guatemala or Venezuela or like Central America. They don't fucking do that shit with hard hats and fall protection on. They do that shit with fucking sandals, barefoot, walking on 8-story scaffolding, like that shit that you see on like Instagram or like Facebook where these people are walking bamboo scaffolding. Like that's real. Like it's not a fake thing. And these people don't know any better when it comes down to it. And so you have to have that education. Like people don't give a shit. They could care less as long as they're getting their cash at the end of the day. They're going to do whatever the fuck they need to do to get it done.
Well, yeah, especially when nobody ever said like, "Hey, put on a fucking hard hat," because they don't fucking care or whatnot.
Or they just didn't have hard hats around, maybe.
Yeah, exactly. Whether it's like operator indifference or
fucking who was yellow just jumped right in the hole right there. That was a hell of a shot.
So who the fuck backwards?
Nice job, stupido.
Thanks.
That's what I'm trying to figure out.
It's like go.
So Kenny,
go ahead.
I was just saying, it sounds like you deal with a lot of childish, pissed off people, both in your recreational activities and in your professional activities.
Yeah.
What is your family like?
Yeah.
Not childish, I can tell you that much. No.
Oh, that's good.
Thank God.
I have a wife. 3. I have 3 dogs. I have one born child and another one on the way.
Oh snap!
It's the one on the way that is the biggest asshole I found. That's just my experience, though.
Yeah, I can agree with that.
Yeah.
At the end of the day, life is kind of what balances out, right? Like at home, I work for my family. I do everything I can for my family, but I really do try to kind of take care of them as much as I can because they keep me grounded because they're the only stupid that I don't have to deal with, right?
Yeah.
So.
Well, my son likes to throw his food on the floor, then not eat anything, and then crawl around eating the food on the floor before I can sweep it up. So I do have to deal with some sort of stupid from him, but it's like he's cute still and he doesn't know any better, so it's fine.
He's a kid, right? Like you expect that shit.
A little
Are
bit.
you sure
A
that
little
he's
bit.
not a dog? Because that sounds
I'm
very
100%
dog.
sure.
That sounded very
We're not
dog behavior to me.
So here's another thing people are going to like about me, since I haven't watched Always Sunny and I don't think Jason Sudeikis is funny.
No,
I also am not a dog person,
Oh.
so I'm fairly certain he's not a dog.
Okay, cool. I mean, I like dogs. I don't want a dog. My girlfriend
Yeah, I like
does, but
having friends with dogs.
yeah,
I
but
don't like
have
dog
a dog
people.
in the house.
How about that? I don't like dog people who think that like, oh, my dog's fine. He definitely. I was like attacked by dogs as a kid a couple of times.
okay.
so-
I do feel what you're saying though, of people who are like, my dog's cool, and you're like, okay, but like he's asshole right now. Like I don't know what you're saying to me. Like
I said okay, but he's actively biting me. Like,
yeah,
Yeah.
he's
Well, like,
literally got my dick in his mouth, biting it off. I'm
Whoa.
terrified.
What are you
Whoa,
doing
whoa,
with this dog?
First
Whoa,
off,
whoa,
This
whoa,
dog's
dog,
doing
and
to-
secondly,
this-
why do you know that dog? Like that's a little inappropriate.
No, the dog's actively assaulting me.
I have a 4-year-old kid, and like the dogs that I'm annoyed by are like twice her size and could rip her to shreds with just
Yeah.
like a passing thought. And
Yeah.
if you don't want to put that dog on a leash, get the fuck away, because I don't let my kid just run around your house.
Right.
I don't let my kid run into your yard.
I
This,
I was-
yeah,
yeah.
I'm a grumpy old man when it comes to that shit. So
no, I will
No,
say
I
there,
have a
there,
dog in my neighborhood that
yes.
likes to be off leash.
Yep.
It's so
I was
annoying.
just gonna say the same thing. There's like a dog in my neighborhood that is just like out all the time, and like I live in like a downtown like urban area, and it's so fucking annoying because I'm just like, dude, what if I'm taking my cat for a walk? Like,
I
get
don't
fucked.
mean to be rude, but what's a downtown urban area like in Idaho? Is that like
It's
the
pretty
one
urban.
stoplight, or is that
No.
okay?
Bro, wait a minute. Hold on. You're from Idaho.
Yeah.
That's hilarious. So, one of my brother's really good friends is from Idaho as well.
Where from?
Fuck, I'd have to look it up. But all I do is make fun of him the fact that he's from fucking Idaho. Because what the fuck comes from Idaho?
potatoes.
Wow. I'm
That's
gonna
it.
leave this
That's
fucking pod, guys. Not even the,
The number
number
one
one.
consensus overall pick. That's who comes from Idaho.
Apparently.
Fair enough.
And
Fair
man.
enough.
The urban density of what I assume is like a slightly cramped camper. So
I mean,
I will tell you that. What the fuck, man?
Stupido's like the only person on this fucking in this group who has ever laughed at my jokes. But he laughs at like everyone really hard. It's great.
I love the jokes.
He,
I know.
it's
I'm a hype man. Bring it on. Get the jokes.
a boy, wingman, best wingman. I can't fucking
Yep.
Jesus Christ,
It's okay, Kenny. You'll get it up eventually.
dude. I went back to back hole in ones and I've just really shit the bed here.
I won the very first one and I have sucked ever since. Leo in the lead. I've actually Dayman,
As
totally
per
legit. I've never
Avery.
been to Idaho and I'm very curious. Like, what is it like? Are you from there natively?
yeah. It's a lot of,
Native
like,
Ohioan, Idahoan. Sorry.
It's just it's like a lot of nature stuff, honestly. That's what you like.
Like, what sort of nature stuff? Like, I'm a grass guy, like a greenery sort of like forest and greens. Is that
Oh,
or is it
yeah.
like mountains and?
Both.
Desert,
Yeah.
what is it? Desolate
Desert.
wasteland.
Desert, mountains, forests, rivers.
Nice.
Has the largest
I too can name natural landforms,
has
Waterfalls,
deltas, plateaus,
no deltas.
rivers.
hills.
Have you ever played Fallout?
Rings.
Just imagine Fallout. Like that's
Basically, but instead of like the weird raptor things, it's neo-Nazis.
Oh, gross.
We have some of those in my area too.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm sure they're
I
think
everywhere.
they're everywhere.
Yeah, they're pretty much
Yeah.
everywhere, unfortunately.
Except Germany, funny and no, I'm kidding.
Oh no! Yeah, I was about to say. The
yeah, I was
AfD is
like,
very much so real.
Yeah, for fucking real, actually. Yeah, I mean, it's like has the largest wilderness area outside of Alaska here.
Really?
Yeah.
Is it in like the skinny part at the top? Nice job, Leo. Or
No,
the
it's
big part?
the
Hey.
entire middle. The literal entire middle. It's only like
Nice.
the bottom square part that like you can actually live in, and then the top part. But We don't go to the top part. Sorry for anybody who lives in northern Idaho. Doubtful, though. Pretty sure
Why don't you go there?
that's where the neo-Nazis are.
Oh, I thought the neo-Nazis would be in like the parts next to Oregon and Washington, because the parts of Oregon and Washington by Idaho, are where the neo-Nazis are in Oregon and Washington, from what I've heard.
Yeah,
Well,
They
that would
got-
be the top part of Idaho.
yeah,
Is it? Well, there you go.
Yeah,
My geography
near
sucks. I have a
Washington.
liberal arts degree.
yeah.
Hey, me too.
I mean,
except mine's in
it-
history.
Eastern Oregon is like kind of like that too, but probably not as bad, and that's like more south. But I also have a liberal arts degree.
What do
Yeah, Eastern Oregon definitely is like that.
Yeah. Most people
so-
who listen to this from Oregon probably say the same thing because I've only met people from Western Oregon in here so far.
Are there people from Oregon, listening to this, you think?
I mean,
be at least one.
Okay.
my man
Well,
Brent.
if you do
shout
chime
out
in,
Brent.
leave us a comment. Let us know.
Like and
Like the
subscribe.
Like and subscribe.
Get fucked, slowpoke.
Comment. Get in the comments. Get in the
Oh
comments.
man.
Oh man.
So to get back on questions that we had prepared for you,
Gross.
anything you're gonna miss from being alone? Like, did the power go to your head, and you're gonna miss having it?
No, actually, you know what? It's kind of interesting to see all the chant. Like, actually, being a mod is more interesting than being an LOM. As a mod, you get to see everything within the. There's a good balance of power there. So, like, as a mod, I get to see everything channel wise. But as an LOM, like, you have access to like Manfred, who is like the server owner and stuff
Right.
like that. A little bit more gameplay decision. But really, being God bless us, I'm just going to goddamn hole.
Well, we were tied for first. I think you just like
Anymore.
four-stroked your way out of it.
Yep. Maybe like the big thing is like being involved in the day to day, like, I don't say it's the day to day, like getting better, like making the game better. It's kind of like, I guess I could technically still do that, but it's a little bit easier to do it when you're in that position.
Makes sense.
So the natural question that comes to my head, and this is going to sound dickish, but I'm just curious. Do you feel like you left it better than when you found it? Because that's what like the people say you should do. Like, that's a steward idea, right?
It's hard because everyone's going to immediately jump to the Dottie situation and the
Yeah.
bot situation and how that was handled. And I think that was just honestly just a losing situation no matter what we would have done there. And I think it's in a better position. Do I think the league is in a better spot? No, but I think it's in a better position to be successful for the future, if that makes it. I still think I think there's still a little bit of a culture problem in the league. I think there's a little bit of some distrust in the league. I think you could even argue there's a little bit of a fracture too. There's a fracture between we'll call them the Oakland supporters, right, and the non-Oakland supporters. And even though you may not see it directly, I mean, it's definitely there. It may have definitely calmed down a little bit, but
Yeah.
once you kind of burn those relationships, they don't ever get repaired.
Yeah,
So,
I definitely agree with
I
what
mean-
you're saying. Of people aren't going to necessarily be friends with people who they perceive as being maybe have slighted them in that scenario or said things.
Right.
So,
or
I
their
think-
opinion, right?
right.
I think it's possible. Nice job, Stupido.
Wow.
nice job.
I think it's possible. It
Nice
just
job,
takes time and
Yeah.
like a willingness to move past it. I don't know that that's there yet. Just from the bullshit I've seen, which is not obviously a whole lot. You said something interesting.
honestly-
I wanted to ask you. Oh, go ahead.
Say for anyone listening, whoever that is, if it's 3 people or 50 people,
And my mother.
if you have an issue within the community, please make sure you reach out to the right people. Reach out to them as a group. One of my biggest gripes about being LOM is there's 3 of us to run the entire league, and there's always been some back and forth on whether or not that is enough people or not. I'm gonna tell you right now, it's not. There's ways that you can get around the voting issue, which is what a lot of people bring up in committee. But make sure if you ever have a problem with in league directly, send it to all 3. Send it to all 5 mods. Send it to all 3 LOM. not just one, because there's a lot of ways for things to get lost. You know, I'll tell you right now, I work from. I'll tell you right now, I work from 5 a.m. to 6 p.m. sometimes. So if I'm not getting your message, give it to the people who will get to your message, and that requires it to be everyone, not just one person. So,
Got it.
little PSA.
Good looking out. Good looking out.
Whoever turned the wind on for
Yeah, I
this
was
hole
just,
can go
I was
suck
just
some
to say,
really dirty.
whoever the
slimy.
fuck did that needs to get out of this pod right now.
Yeah,
Nice
not
on you
okay.
guys. You can tell it didn't help me.
No, it did not. You're still stuck on there somewhere. Do you have any idea how to get out?
I gotta go around. There we go.
Yeah, that's what we all had to do too.
Yep. So we all had to do.
You said something. You said something in your original discussion, like a league in a better place, not in a better place, and it was like, if I understood correctly, the league is not in a better place when you got here, but it's on the road to a better place because there was obviously a schism, an issue that happened, and you think it, in your opinion, it's on a way to becoming better because of it had to dealing with that and the position it came to after that. Is that fair to say?
Correct. Yeah, I think one of the big things on this is, at least for me, I learned a lot with this whole, the whole situation that preceded the playoffs. I learned a lot. I learned a lot of stuff that I'm never going to use again. I'll be honest with you. And I learned some things that will help me manage in real life stuff. And when it's all said and done, I think the league was we fixed some things that were definitely a weakness, and that puts the league in a better spot. But in the grand scheme of things, I won't quote this. When you lose, and essentially an entire team, because they effectively feel like they're being bullied, and it's been very public, that's not good for the league, because that feels that they feel like the league wasn't defending them, and there's a lot of intricacies to that as well. But when you have a group of people who feel that way, that's not good. And when you really haven't come up with a situation or a solution to fix that per se, and they're gonna enforce Rule 1 more in that stuff, and that'll help. But really, we haven't come up with a solution to fix what caused that in the first place.
Right. If you, any scenario, keep going. Sorry.
We fixed the security aspect of it, but you're still one person, right? Like Isaac now is in charge of the bot, I guess, in theory. I don't know how official that is or whatever the case is or what they've decided, but if Isaac's running the bot, it's still that one person that is running the bot. It's funny, we had Lennon who ran the bot, and then we had Dottie who ran the bot. Now we have Isaac who ran the bot. Notice how I said not Isaac and team or Dottie and team, just that one person.
Right.
So I think that's something that you'd have pushed for happening differently if you could have at the time.
It was discussed. It's just hard too. Think about this: how many people are actually qualified to deal with that stuff?
Not fucking
because
me,
you just
bro.
don't want. You don't want just a one random dude.
Baby.
Yeah. We have don't get me wrong, we have a lot of talented people in our community that can deal with it, but we don't have a lot of people that are that comes with time. So it really should be multiple people working on it. That way, if Isaac has to take a hiatus and go away, you have 3 other people who can fix problems, right?
You also have people double checking the work and make sure there's nothing.
Well,
and thrown in there.
And the big thing with that is not look. If you have one person doing the work, that's fine, so long as that one person doing the work is documenting, and documentation is communicable. I don't know how much that exists. I'm not following it too much.
So all of the code stuff, like we have so many copies of it. Now, is it something that's like, hey, if the bot were to delete itself tonight, is it something that they could probably put back together tomorrow? Maybe. I'm not a code guy. I couldn't really tell you. I just know it exists, right? So there's some fail safes in place for that. But at the same token, it's like, we also don't. What the fuck was that? Let's not get there. So how do we not get there? Well, we have multiple people in place that can address bot issues, and we have a couple. But the problem is that they're not official, right? They don't want to get involved officially. They want to enjoy the game, and it's not fair to them that they can't enjoy the game, but also not be able to help the league if they want to help.
It is asking a lot for people to sacrifice having fun to make this somewhat of a job. Yeah.
Right, exactly. And they don't get paid for it. It's strictly voluntary, right? Like,
Yeah.
I was having conversations with guys at midnight about issues with the bot, trying to fix the issues. And I'm not a code guy, so I need more information on that, right? I need more help to understand that. And you can't just give them access to it because then you have a security problem. So they've got to talk to you as to me at least, as dumb as possible to try to make it work. And then I've got to try to implement what they're telling me, and then it doesn't work. So then it's like, well, I got to troubleshoot it. It's like, well, I can't give you access to that. So it's a catch-22.
Was there possible? How the fuck did I just get? Whoever reversed me right as I let go of the thing.
That was impressive.
You know what? I feel like the hole is transforming you a bit.
The hole is transforming him.
Yes.
Okay.
That's what I feel like. Like a bit of a goblinish thing.
He's
No further comment on the
Yeah.
hole being transformative.
no further whole comment about
come
the
on,
goblin's
that is not where
hole,
we were going.
the transformative hole. I don't know what the fuck you're talking about.
That is a reach. That is a reach. It's an understandable reach. I hear it now that I said it, but that was a reach. How did we play this course again?
You hit it,
voted for
and then it puts you wherever it wants to put you.
Yeah.
It's called chaos.
So, Kenny, I have a question about LOMs.
Yeah.
You mean
Loams?
loams?
Yeah. No, LOMs.
Oh, okay. Sorry. I was
So
confused.
we pretty much only see the press releases, the announcements. How much work goes on the backside that a normal person won't see?
There's a lot of discussion. There's a lot of talking. That's what people tend to they fail to understand. There's a synergy there too. So mods talk to alums, and let's talk about bans, right? If we're talking about banning a player. Mods will reach out to the LOM and just run their thought process by as a kind of just like a secondary set of eyes. And anything in gameplay, same concept. So and then on top of that too, people get super upset. It's like, why don't we have a decision yet? Well, let's see. Let's just talk about this podcast deal. Right? You guys are all West Coast, not East Coast. So the timing on that is a little bit of struggle, right? Like we have to do it at 9:00 at night. Then you have issues trying to get a hold of something. Oh, then something comes up. But we want to make sure that we make the right decision. I say we, but they want to make sure that we make the right decision for the league or for the player in comparison to making a rush decision and having to go back and reverse it. I'm not saying we've made great decisions, or OTTC in general has made great decisions all the time, but that's our thought process. There's definitely not a lot of dragging of the feet there to delay a conversation or delay something going out to you, like to the community, essentially.
Makes sense.
Right, because you don't want to do it and then be like, oh, well, somebody actually just responded now and we were waiting for them, but we made a decision and we should have actually done the opposite. Like,
right.
Yeah, I've made that fuck up a time or two.
Yeah, for sure.
And sometimes like I'll be honest, like as a mod, if I'm 4-0 or like if we're 4-0 on something, we don't need, we'll get the other vote. Like that was a big thing, is like I would get the other vote just to make it official. But like if we're 4-0, we're gonna push it through. And being an LON was a little bit different. Generally speaking, I always wanted the other two to know what was going on. And once again, that's hard because Zelk notoriously works 16-hour days, and he works them 7 days a week. Oh yeah, so with that being said, though, sometimes it's hard to get a hold of Zelk or something's going on. Same thing with SB3, right? Or me. If we're trying to just work through stuff, it's hard to have 3, which is why kind of my big push to have 5 because you always will have, the thought process was you have a better chance of having 3 available. And if you have 3, at least you can kind of have that thought process of having 3 people come up with a consensus, comparably instead of having one person make a decision for the entire league.
Did that happen often? One person would make the decision for the entire league?
No, because we would always talk, right? Eventually we would get to it. But sometimes it takes us 5 days to get to it, right? So we would want to, there was never a point, at least to my knowledge, that we made a decision and I wasn't at least in the loop of what was going on. Not saying I always agreed with the decision, but I at least knew what was going on.
One thing that's always been a little odd to me was the distinction between Loam and the mods, and the fact. I mean, I understand why it's there, but I feel like the duties could be fulfilled by like a group of people, and it seems like the way you're talking about how they function in practice is it was that like the mods ran stuff by the Loam run stuff by the mods.
Yeah, and that's really just more of a hey, let's take a look at this together instead of like I said, ultimately player ban decision is going to come down to the mods.
Right.
There's no, and let me make sure I make that clear because someone's going to come back and say, "Oh, you said no." What I'm saying is that if they're going to ban Leo, hypothetically speaking, then they made us throw it to us and
We're
say,
pushing
hey,
for it.
How do we get that?
Hey,
How do we get that train started?
Yeah.
they're going to say, hey, by the way, we're
I ain't done
ban Leo. And, because, think too, some of the LOMs have been here forever, right? Like some of the older people have been doing this for a very long time. So there could be some background, hey, if, this person's been warned before in the past for being a dick fuck, then
A dick
they
fuck.
continue to do it, but no one knows about it.
That is not in the rule books. The dick fuckery is not in the rule book, so we would
New
need
podcast
clarification.
name.
Apparently, Choc has checked.
I'm on the
Yeah.
committee. I'm supposed to read the rule book.
Yeah, I mean, you know that he's just control effing dick and
You mean that big paperweight?
Dick. I had to control F Dick F because there's a lot of dick talk, but no dick fucking talk. So
interesting.
yeah.
Call it rule book. I call it doorstop.
We're just under an hour, so I would like to play one more game and get in some last chats.
Yeah.
Here.
The last question that we had is, what's next? Like, what are you excited to do now, or are you excited to do anything now, or are you just kind of like
ready to win a paper cup, man? I mean, that's what it comes down to as a GM, right? Like that's, we have a good core going on in Boston right now. It's definitely it's growing and there's learning, and we need probably, well, we'll see. It's only the second game, but
how'd you do in session 1?
We lost after having a 2-run lead. So
classic. I know that vibe. From college.
And it happens, and it's a game of pure luck, right? At the end of the day, so
yeah.
But there, like I said, there's some learning. We made some good additions in the off season, and we're happy about those additions, and they're doing a really good job, and our returners are doing a good job. But we want to. Our ultimate goal is to win a paper cup, and it's and part of that is to get super active. In my opinion, that's a way that teams win, and it's just how do we get there. But we'll be able to.
Hopefully not through the Phillies. That's my guess.
Yeah, or the Brewers.
Are we all?
I was about to say, Stupido, how do you feel about that talk over here?
Yeah, this is someone in your division.
Yeah, well, we'll see how this goes. But we actually won our first session, so
Bodied.
Body
That hurts.
Unfortunately.
Yeah, we're running out our rookie next session, so we'll see how it goes. Pitcher spring training.
Who's the pitcher?
Striker.
Nice.
William T. Striker.
Fellow Harvard.
Definitely.
He's an Astros fan.
Definitely a sleeper pick for sure.
A lot of the pitchers were this year.
Yeah, they definitely. I think we're a little heavy on the pitcher side. The issue is you get a lot of GMs that get a little concerned with the pitching side of it. Is what I've kind of noticed. pitching is very hard in a random number guessing game at the end of the day.
Mhm.
So, if you have someone who hasn't done it before or, isn't necessarily in college is so hard to get a good gauge on pitchers, in my opinion, unless you've got someone who's just absolutely a slam dunk or an activity or a slam dunk in, like they can build a scouting report or something like that. It's, someone hit me with a good old
What in
reverse
the
there.
hell?
Oops.
I haven't. What
There's
was
like
that?
3 things going on.
That was me. I did all 3.
Oh, thanks.
You're
I
welcome.
couldn't even see which. Oh, that was terrible. Glad you're so proud of yourself, Dayman.
That was funny. Well, so you'll see that like as you guys get in the league, and depending on how you guys grow into the league, you'll see like you get access to some of these clubhouses and kind of what these GMs are thinking and what they're wanting to do, and
All right.
and it's kind of
Fuck
fun.
you, Iceman.
You're welcome.
Ah. Did you know you could use power-ups, Kenny? I don't know that we ever told you about that.
No, I figured it out though.
We figured
why
out
do I
about
have-
halfway through the last time we played this
We?
in
Or
the
you?
recording that shall not be named, and it was a game changer. So
Oh yeah, that's definitely
Literally, it changes the game.
it does quite literally. Yeah,
It's true.
I'm a very
It's
literal
true.
person, there, Stupido.
Oh,
It's true.
just
It's
noticed.
true.
Yeah.
Come on, Dayman.
And last hole. Is this fucking me? Are you serious? Oh my god!
There you go. Boink. All right, have fun.
Eye on the goal, buddy. Good lord.
is
Stuck
this.
to a wall. I just shoved myself in a corner. All right. This has been rough.
Yeah.
Everyone just like powering out the power-ups. I
Yeah.
can't talk either.
Ripped all 3 of them.
Just like in full send.
Just went down the line. Just bink, bank, bonk.
Good lord.
I don't think I got any more questions. Anyone else got any more
Kenny,
questions for Mr.
it's-
Kenny K?
It's been nice having you on here.
No, it's been fun. Definitely.
Can you have any questions for us?
That's
Yeah.
I think, that's a better question.
You don't have
So
to,
when
Kenny.
is-
It's been an hour.
When's this really going to be the top 5 pod, boys? That's what the question is. When are you guys going to go live? When are you guys going to go on good old Spotify?
Oh,
Well,
I-
we'll have to check the Nielsen numbers and get back to you.
Yeah.
our one and only episode so far has like 40 views and 2 comments. So I think we're basically we made it. I think.
We're the
I'm gonna quit
Yeah,
my
yeah,
job.
of course.
I'm quitting my job.
Productive comments.
No, one comment was from a guy that I used to play a different game with that I used to post videos for. That, and not the South Park one. Just as a heads up, we can tally that on the scoreboard. But he was just saying like, "What the fuck is this?" So
What was the other one? And what was comment number 2?
Probably
that
from
was
Raj
comment
asking
number
who
2.
we think he's gonna.
1528 is a legendary hand.
Yes, there was a legendary hand at some point. I don't remember who that was.
The Zandman 3737. Zandman,
Oh,
if you're watching this,
oh.
we appreciate your comments.
Yeah, that's
Zan.
Zan. He's on the Phillies with me. He's
Zan,
Yeah.
we appreciate you. Pretty sure
Yeah.
he's
I
a
wonder who had the
grizzled
awesome
vet.
hand. I'll have to go look.
Yeah,
I think it was
well,
Dayman.
It would be Dayman because it's from his perspective.
Oh, that's true.
well, thanks, Zan.
The hand in question is 8-6 unsuited. So it's definitely one of the hands.
I mean,
Yeah.
suspect opinion by him, but thanks for the comment. Thanks for the shout out, friend.
Comments are always appreciated.
I think
I think we did it.
I think we're gonna just keep pumping out episodes, and it would be good to note that we're gonna pump them out every other week. I think is the plan. So this will probably go out this Friday.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, but I do want to say I appreciate about a lot of things, and I appreciate your your candid offering and sharing with us and such. Hopefully you didn't get anything too uncomfortable. So
No, you're all good. This is good to get the information out. Definitely, if you guys are looking for somebody, I'm down to do it again. So
Yeah.
Awesome.
Part 2.
Yeah.
Hopefully we can talk about how the next guest we're probably going to have on is Tucker. So maybe we can start a little like AL East rivalry thing.
Oh, there you go.
Ooh, sneak
Yeah.
peek viewers.
Sneak peek.
Yeah.
Look at
Yeah.
it.
Tune in next
The
time.
next episode is with Tucker. Yeah. The
Yeah.
next one.
Yeah. Yeah.
We may make some takeout cutouts, outtakes, whatever those things are called of that one, and or maybe I'll turn some of them into Chalk Talks because those were
Chalk
pretty good.
Talks.
So
Yeah.
Choc Talks.
yeah.